You want your wealth to mean something, to live on in ways that matter. Because deep down, you know legacy isn't measured in dollars, it's measured in impact. Today, we're talking about a unique way to turn generosity into strategy and to make your wealth work both for your family and for the causes you care about most. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome in. This is Legacy Beyond Wealth. We got a good discussion that ties in perfectly to what we talk about all the time, right? Giving, helping others, making sure that wealth has a purpose, right, in your life. And I know a lot of families probably wrestle with this one, Rob. How do I support the charities that are important to me, that are close to my heart, but still take care of my kids, maybe my grandkids as well? How do you find that balance? So how did you see this play out in your office and the things that you do every day?
Yeah, I can think of one client, he's probably one of our largest clients that's out there, and he keeps telling his kids that he's going to give everything to charity when he passes away. And him and his wife have found that a way to try to have the kids not feel like an expectation that they're going to inherit a whole bunch of wealth and have to work hard on their own. But as you look at successful families, 60% of them define a life of significance as taking care of the people they love, while over half of them also say helping out others that are in need. And that sometimes can be a little bit of a tug of war between those that you love the most and wanting to make sure they're taken care of, but also causes that you deeply care about. And there's so much good that can come out of doing charitable work and giving to good charities that are out there. And so the good news is you don't have to choose between one or the other. You can actually do both.
Okay. Well, I think that's what people want to hear about, because like you said, it can be tough, and you can maybe feel a little guilt not being able to help everyone. So what's a tool we want to talk about and share today that might be of interest to people that are in this situation?
Yeah, so one of the tools that is out there, there's many different ones that are out there, but one specifically today that we want to talk about is a Charitable Lead Trust. And this is where I like to think of it of have your cake and share it too type of approach to philanthropy. And here's basically how it works. You set up a trust and you fund it. And usually that's with cash or some type of appreciated asset, whether that be a stock that's grown substantially or real estate or a business that's grown substantially. And the trust makes annual payments to one or more charities that are set up for a number of years. And when that term ends, whatever is left that's ideally grown over time, you get to pass on to your heirs. So effectively, you're basically sending a stream of good out into the world through charities while setting your family up for better later on in life.
And how much control does this actually provide you, Rob? Can you set how long the charitable period lasts?
You definitely can. And that's one thing I love about it. And all the strategies we look at, I love to talk about flexibility, because you have to have that, because not everyone's situation is exactly the same. So we can set it for saying 10 years or 20 years or even over someone's lifetime, because the assets that are in the trust are invested and they can grow over time while those annual charitable gifts are being made. But it's not just about the charity, it's about the planning tool. And when it's done right, a charitable lead trust can provide tax deductions, reduce estate taxes, while at the same time aligning your wealth with your values.
Yeah, so it gives you flexibility, right? Which I think is what a lot of people are looking for. And it's always great to have that. So when you talk about flexibility and you look at this charitable lead trust, what kinds are available to you? What do you want people to be aware of and know about?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is you don't have to go get your law degree or your doctorate to feel like you understand the situation. First and foremost, you want to start working with qualified professionals that understand this. And that's going to involve financial advisor as well as a really good estate planning attorney, and having them work in collaboration with you. But as you're talking to those financial professionals, a few things you may want to be able to mention to help them educate you on is what we call a charitable lead annuity trust. That pays a fixed dollar amount that goes to the charity each year. And then the other one is what we call a charitable lead unit trust, which pays a fixed percentage of the trust assets value. So the payout adjusts up or down based upon the investment's performance that is out there. And then there's another important choice, which is this thing we call grantor versus non-grantor. And this is where we're getting maybe a little bit of the weeds or the technical side a little bit. But as you think about it, a grantor charitable lead trust gives you an immediate tax deduction because The term grantor is the person putting the asset into the trust, and it would go onto your tax return and helps you to be able to get that tax deduction. If you're doing a non-grantor trust, it doesn't give you that upfront deduction, but the trust itself pays taxes and not you. So really depends on which path you want to take from tax. If you want some immediate tax relief or maybe some long-term tax efficiency would be the different path. And that's why it's important to have that team again, because now we're also bringing in your tax professional into the conversation. And now we're trying to build that team of professionals that could really dial in this strategy to make the most impact for you and your financial future.
And that's what a team can do for you, right? I mean, because not every person's going to choose the same option. What might work for you is not going to work for the next person, and vice versa. It's really about having that ability to customize to your goals.
Yeah, and goals and motivations, and we talk so much about alignment. And Ben, I feel like I'm getting to be an old man every day. And the more older I get, the wiser I guess I become, where I find out my goals and my values. If there's not an alignment there, it creates a conflict in my life. And when I find that I am the most happiest in my family situations, my relationships, is that A word called alignment. And that's really what we're looking for, is having that alignment with this strategy where we can customize it. So it's not just about trying to get the best tax treatment, but aligning the values with your goals. And if that alignment brings in some tax benefit and efficiencies, we want to have those professionals that can be there to be able to help that out.
Are you ready to unlock the freedom to live your best life? Schedule your no-cost 60-minute discovery meeting with our team today. During this session, we'll take the time to understand your family's story and financial dreams. Together, we'll craft a personalized roadmap designed to help you achieve your goals. Let's explore how we can unlock the freedom for you and your family to thrive. Just click the link in the description of today's show to get started.
Yeah, if you're interested in learning more, again, it's a good breakdown of it. But if you really want to dig in a little bit deeper, get in touch, AxioWM.com, and schedule a time to talk with Rob and the team there at Axio Wealth Management to discuss this a little bit further. But kind of painting the picture for why families decide to go this route, Rob, what's the main reason they choose this?
I'm going to go with 3 words, if that's okay, Ben, to use the words impact, efficiency, and legacy. When we think about it, we want to use the word impact because it provides consistent income to the causes you care about. You're making a direct impact there, and it's steady support that they can plan their work on. One of the things I love is giving back through time and volunteering, and sitting as the chairman of the board this year for Make-A-Wish Utah. And I went back to the Make-A-Wish conference just last week and got to talk with the groups from Make-A-Wish Shanghai, Make-A-Wish New Zealand, Make-A-Wish Colombia, and seeing all the good that's happening around the world, and meeting with Wish Kids and seeing how when they got the worst diagnosis in their life, they had something to look forward to and hope, and it actually helped them to have a better success and a chance of recovery than not having that wish. And for me, that's one that's really strong to me. So having that impact to really make a difference in the world. The other is efficiency, because depending on how you set it up, you might receive an immediate tax benefit or an eventual tax benefit. And depending upon the situation, we want to build in, while you're doing good and helping people out there, why not take advantage of some tax benefits that could be there for you as well? And then last but not least is legacy, because you're blending this generosity and stewardship together. And it teaches generations about being able to give part of that wealth away to create that legacy, because it's not just about making a living. It's about making a difference. And I truly believe that's where real happiness lands out. So those 3 words are what I would choose there, Ben.
All right. I know a lot of the families you work with want to leave meeting, and I guess this is a tool that can help with that. We need to look at the other side of this as well. I know people are curious about, hey, well, what do I need to maybe look out for? Are there any drawbacks to this trust?
Yeah, that's a good question. Something you should always ask with any strategy, right? Because we want to make sure that there's that alignment like we talked about before. And so when we look at it, the charitable lead trusts are irrevocable, meaning once you fund it, you can't take those assets back. The second is the value can fluctuate based on the investment performance inside of there. One that we worked with in the past was where a prior financial professional didn't have that alignment that we talked about earlier, put the investments into some very high commissioned investments, and they performed very poorly. And it didn't work out the way that the family wanted to. And we came on board and tried to do our best to help correct that. But we got to make sure that we have that alignment there. And then the third is sensitivity to interest rates. When interest rates are higher, it's harder for the trust to outperform and maximize what ultimately goes to your family. So working with some really good professionals and not just doing a do-it-yourself type of a strategy here. This is more advanced planning. But like I said, getting that estate planning attorney, that tax professional, and a really trusted financial advisor, you get that high-powered team together, and this really could minimize any drawbacks that are out there for you.
Well, if this advanced planning is something of interest to you and you're not doing it yet, please don't hesitate to get in touch. AxioWM.com. They offer up this discovery call to learn more about their process, but also allow them to get to know more about your family, your goals, where that meaning lies for you. So find that link in the show description as well. We'll have another video coming soon. Please subscribe to our channel, like this video. And Rob, as always, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, Ben.